Assalamu alaikum. How are you? I hope you will be fine, quite hale and hearty. We are studying business communication. We have covered a lot of topics so far. We started from some theoretical aspects of communication, what is communication, and slowly we moved on to practical aspect of this course. We studied letters, how to write different types of letters, and then memos, and then reports. In few previous lectures, we've been studying report, right? Quite akin to analytical report. How many types are there of the reports? There are of two types, informational and analytical. And quite akin to analytical report, we have another type of report which is not actually called report, it is called proposal. So what is a proposal? In business, the way you write request letter, inquiry letters to different organizations, different companies to request certain information, to ask them to send you certain information, certain material, sample material. Similarly, you place orders and you write request. So, in proposals, use some time, propose your services, your expertise to different companies, to different organizations, that you can handle such and such matters. These matters may be financial matters, may be related to some engineering work, and maybe to a lot of other aspects. Governments and bigger organizations need to accomplish some of their projects by some outsider organization. So sometimes they write request for proposals on the certain project. So writing proposal is also a very important part of business communication, and for a good writer, for a good communicator, you need to use all the expertise of your writing skill that you have learned so far, or that you learn in your working as a writer of communication in your organization. So if we are to explain exactly what proposal is, we can say that they are quite close to analytical report. They include bids to perform work under a contract and plea for financial support from outsider. As you will see that sometime in certain institution, either the professors or the teachers or the organization or institution itself want to seek help from some outsiders, some governments or some bigger organization to accomplish certain projects. So they write pleas or bids. So it matters a little whether your proposal is a memo. If we say it's a memo, it means that you are going to propose something to your employer or within your organization or to different department of your own organization. So it matters a little whether your proposal is written on a memo format or a full documents. Documents mean that like a long report, like a formal report. What does matter is the structure you apply to writing good proposal. So the structure of the proposal is a very important thing. As I just said that proposals are quite close to reports, especially the long reports. It doesn't mean that there are only long proposals are very lengthy. There are also proposals which are short proposals, like short reports, but in the format they are quite close to long report. As I've just seen that professors submit proposals to companies stating that they can help solve problems with a company. Similarly, advertising agencies bid on being the agency of record in publicizing a product or idea for a client. Or companies submit proposals to foreign governments to do a project. So there are two types of letters that are normally, or two types of communications that are normally written under this heading, that is proposal, that you seek the expertise of some individual or some organization, or some organization seeks your expertise, your knowledge to accomplish some of their project. So when we talk about this way, it means that proposals can be solicited or unsolicited. I mean, there can be some proposal which you are writing on some request, so these are solicited, and there's sometime you just offer somebody your services, that you can do something, you can accomplish some of their project, you can help them in solving some of their problems. So these are unsolicited, right? So proposals are basically a sort of help that you offer to some organization, or some organization want you to extend to them a helping hand in completing some of their projects. You see that whenever a government needs to construct some dams or some other big project within their country, so they ask for help to certain foreign agencies to do them their expertise on the project. So this way proposals are written. So let's see the more purposes of proposals. For example, governments are the foremost requesters. Governments frequently make requests to organization for giving them proposal on certain issues. So these requests normally appear in newspapers, trade publications. There is a type of communication which we call request for proposal, the RFP. So it is sometimes directed toward a company with specific expertise. The company has certain expertise in certain field. So proposal topics are varied, such as to sell property, machines, etc., to construct building, bridges, highways, to survey water area for possible oil fields. Then smaller projects are also made known to individual and corporation, such as improving engineering and just-in-time performance with a company, preparing managerial staff to work within and outside the country, planning and basic research before developing any new projects. So proposal is similar to that of recommendation justification report that we discussed while we were discussing reports. Both aim to solve problem, and that is to alter a procedure, find answer to any question, offer advice and training. So these are few purposes of proposal. Obviously we've just discussed few, there are a lot more, because in every organization there is some department that is writing proposal or answering these bids. So there are two types of proposals: research proposal and business proposal. Research proposal so far is written by professors. So a research proposal is usually academic in nature. Professors or school for which they work desire to obtain grant in response to a request or an announcement from the government or other agency. Academic institutions submit most research reports. So whenever some institution want to work on any project, so what they do is they write a request or they write in response to such offers. Another type of proposal is business proposal. So a business proposal is written by people concerned with business. In length, proposal may be similar to other report, short or long, formal or informal. Like reports, proposal may be solicited or unsolicited. While writing a business solicited proposal, remember you must likely to have many other competitors. Whenever you are writing business report, and especially these reports which are solicited, you must know that there are people other than you who may write for the same bid. So there is a possibility that you have competitors there. So you need to concentrate on certain aspect of your proposal, as we will discuss later on. It has been pointed out by many governmental agencies that people fail to achieve their purpose. The people who write proposal fail to receive the projects which they have applied because of their lack of expertise to write proposals. Because proposal needs extra care. So you have to convince people, you have to tell them that how you are able to solve their problem. You have to convince the people that you have an answer for their problem. You have to convince the people that you can advise them better than others. So you have to think of your reader very precisely in this case. But when you are writing an unsolicited proposal, you need to convince the reader or review committee that you understand the organization's problem and that your firm or you are qualified to solve it successfully. So either you are writing solicited proposal or you are writing unsolicited proposal, you have to convince your reader. And maybe especially in case of unsolicited proposal, there are people competing for the same project. So you need to be very careful. So be careful. There may be competitors and there may be some review committee, and in some cases there are in some cases sometime there is the staff other than the people concerned with the proposal who have to screen your proposal or different proposals. So you have to make your proposal in such a way that it can attract the attention of a common man. So you don't have to write your proposal in very technical language. So your proposal must be for a non-specialist person. So keeping all these things in view, now you have to think of writing a proposal. You have to think about the parts of proposal. So far as the format of the proposal is concerned, or different parts of the proposals are concerned, proposals have almost all the parts of a report, especially a formal report. In formal report, we discussed that it has three parts: prefatory parts, text parts, and supplementary parts. Similarly, a proposal has prefatory part, text part and supplementary parts. So far as the prefatory parts are concerned, it includes all those parts which a long report has. For example, cover, title fly, title page, request for proposal, letter of transmittal, table of content, list of illustration, synopsis or executive summary, draft contract. So this is draft contract, which is different from a report. Then we have text part. It has introduction, body and summary. And the last part, it has supplementary parts. But contrary to a report, it has just one supplementary part, and then that is appendix, whereas in long report, we have 3 parts. So almost a proposal has all the parts that a long report has, as you have just seen. The cover, title fly, title page, table of content and list of illustration are handled the same way as in other formal report. Sometimes instead of a letter of authorization, which normally is included in long report, we have a request for proposal and proposals. So it is included. Then as we have seen that one more part is included in the prefatory parts of this proposal, and that is draft contract. In long proposals, a draft contract may be inserted after an executive summary. So this draft basically allows receiver to offer counter offer and also gives an immediate overview including financial information. So these are 2 parts which are not included in the prefatory parts of a report. So far as the table of contents is concerned, it is included in long proposal but not included in short proposals. So short proposal do not have this table of content, but long proposal do have it. So after the prefatory parts, we have the main text or the main proposal. It includes introduction, body and summary. The introduction of the proposal is very important. This section presents and summarizes the problem that you intend to solve. In fact, here you attract the attention of your reader by telling him that you can solve some of his problem or do something for him or can offer something to him. So you may include that what benefits the reader will receive from your solution. Write introduction as if you were approaching a non-specialist. As I just said earlier, that sometime your first reader may be other than the person you sent a request for proposal. Some staff members often give this proposal an initial reading or a type of screening. So be very careful. Normally the purpose is stated in infinitive, but in infinitive form you just see in an example, but it's not something essential for writing proposal. You can choose any form. For example, if you are choosing infinitive, you can write like this: to construct 1 meter carpeted road from machine shop to the main gates, to be printer of the institution annual magazine. So this is how you write your purpose in infinitive. So after the introduction, you come on to the main body. In the main body, you discuss different things. You give scope of your proposal, you include project team, you give the background, you tell about in some of your proposal the personnel, and you can include anything that can help your reader understanding what you are going to say them. So for as the scope is concerned, here you define the boundaries of your project what boundaries are you setting to accomplish your project. It may be to study an area of community, it may be to study some body of water for oil digging, or maybe anything, maybe some area of land to construct some road, or to maybe some area to construct some dams. So here you give the scope of your proposal, especially in a long proposal. This part of the proposal is very important. Then after the scope, you tell about your project team. Some proposal, even short, include a list of individuals who will work on the projects, especially including the project director. So you tell in this part of the proposal about the project team that is going to work on the project, or that will be basically giving services to the reader. Then you tell about the background, especially in long reports. You talk about your previous work, possibly giving them a literature review on the projects. So it helps your reader in evaluating your potentials. So in long reports, when you are offering big projects, this previous works of yours can be very helpful. Then you include procedures. Here you briefly explain how you will meet the requirement of your reader. So this part of the proposal is to be highlighted sometime, and you have to emphasize here that you have the ability to do the job, and you tell the way you are going to accomplish the task or the project. Then after this, we include equipments or facilities. Sometimes facilities that you want from the reader for whom you are going to work, and sometimes the facilities that you already have, including the equipment that you have. So both these things are also very important, especially in big projects. Tell the reader that you have thought well to realize what facilities will be needed. For example, as just said, it may include certain infrastructures on the spot. So this section emphasizes the benefits the reader will realize from your solution, and it urges reader to act. So you must have seen that the body or the text parts of a proposal are different from those of a report. Here we have some other objective to achieve. Then we come to the final part of the proposal, and that is the supplementary part. And this part, as we've just seen, includes one thing, and that is index. And index carries the same information that it carries in report. It carries some material, some information that was not included in the body. It is related to the body, but that was not included because it was lengthy. So it is mentioned in this part of the proposal. So with this, we finalize all the parts of a proposal. So as we have seen that proposal is just like an analytical report, and it carries parts as a report has, especially a long report. It has 3 sections. First section is that of prefatory part, second is text part, and third is supplementary parts. Though there are some new parts in it, like the request for proposal and that offer draft. So let's look at a proposal which is written on a memo format. It means that it is sent within the organization, and see that how it works. And this is a short proposal. Activity plan 2006. This is the subject of the proposal. Our primary objective for 2006 is to introduce computers to the 3 branches, Sialkot, Gujranwala and Jang. Trips are planned to all these locations within the next month, so we may see what each has accomplished toward this objective. In addition, I have planned to meet Mr. Hassan Ahmed, who has written 3 computer books, and he will, I'm sure, have valuable ideas for us. So this is the introduction of the proposal. Specifically, I have outlined 6 objectives in order of priority. So you'll see that how the things are explained. Introduce computers to 3 of our branches, complete the programming there in our corporate office, reduce property taxes by rupees so and so, employ a national management consulting firm by September, establish control on report production and reduce cost by rupees so and so, improve the format and details of financial analysis provided to corporate each month. I look forward to the upcoming year and progress toward these goals. So this is a short proposal. Let's look at a long proposal, but I'm not going to read the whole of the long proposal. I'm just going to discuss the introduction of the report. You'll read the rest of the proposal in your handouts. So let's look at this. This report is basically on the subject of supervisory skill training program proposal. So it begins, employees development has been conducting in an in-house supervisory course that focuses primarily on theory and information about management concepts and company policies. We would like to propose additional training for first and second line supervisor, focusing on skills only, specific behavioral guidance in supervising and motivating employees to increase productivity. The program would be administered with the help of ABC Consulting Agency. The total cost of rupees so and so will cover customized behavior model, CD-room introductory and practice sessions, 6 line managers and or staff certified by ABC as qualified trainer, 2 classes, 2 participants each of training supervisor and trainer, manual and participant workbook for production. So this is just the introduction of a proposal. You see that how the problem is explained thoroughly. The reader of this proposal will understand quite easily the main topic of the report and will be ready to read the rest of the proposal. So as I just said, you will read the rest of it in your handouts. So this is all about a proposal. A proposal is quite akin to report, especially an analytical report, and we've seen that basically it's a persuasive approach. Normally the approach that we use is persuasive. There are 2 types of proposals, a business proposal and a research proposal, and so far as the parts of proposals are concerned, they are like the parts of a report, all the section divided into 3. The first is prefatory, the second is text part, and the third is supplementary. Though in supplementary part there is 1 part, and though in the prefatory part there are 2 new parts, and it is a little different from a report. So by this I hope that you will be able to understand reports. I have not discussed in length this proposal because, as I am repeatedly saying, that it's quite close to report. So all those things, the planning steps, all those, in many of the books, the planning steps of a proposal and the planning steps of a reports are given under one heading. So we will be also using the planning steps of report for this proposal. So you to see that what we do for this are the same as we have discussed in the report. But the proposal in nature has a persuasive tone, because you have to persuade. So you cannot use that direct approach. You will be using persuasive approach to write this proposal. You have to convince somebody to act according to your desire. So with this we finish this topic here, and we move on to the next topic that also is concerned with a report, but this is not a report, this is market report. So market report, obviously you very well know what does a market mean. You have studied this market. There are different types of market: retail market, wholesale market, stock exchange market, gold market, fruit market, and so on. But market report is different from the business report. We can define a market report as: a market report describes the condition of a commodity in the market on a certain date for a specific period. It points out the business conditions in a market at a given time. So number one, a market report describes the condition of a commodity on a certain date. So you read market reports in newspapers, you listen to market reports on television. So there are different types of market reports. There may be a daily market report, a weekly market report, a monthly market report, and these reports are given in newspapers, in different trade magazines, or on television. They serve different purposes. So far as daily market report is concerned, it shows the price of goods on a mentioned date. It also describes the closing rates of the previous day, the opening rates of that day, the highest and the lowest rates, and the demand and supply of the commodities on that particular day. So you see that it gives a complete picture of a commodity on a certain day in certain markets. Sometimes we have markets of a certain commodity in different cities. So we also give that a certain commodity was dealt in a certain way in a certain market of a certain city in this way, and in a certain way in another city. So it includes the opening rates, the closing rate, the rates of the previous day, and the fluctuation. So it's very helpful for buyers, not for the businessman but for the buyers. Daily newspapers, television, radio, and internet give this information. Consumer take more interest, as I said, buyer take more interest, buyer of the commodities or the consumer of the commodity, than the traders. Then comes the weekly market report. Obviously weekly market report, like the daily market report, include the opening rate, the closing rate, and the rates of the previous day, and also the fluctuation that was there, the rise and fall in the prices of that commodity. This report also determines the causes of variation in price and the expected price movement in the coming week. So since this gives a fluctuation, so this is very helpful for business communities. They take keen interest in this type of report. So a weekly report, like a daily report, gives the opening rate, the closing rate, the rates of the previous week, and the rise and fall, the fluctuation that existed during that week in the commodity. And contrary to the daily market report, in which the consumer are more interested, here the businessmen are more interested. They want to determine their future buying or selling with the help of this report. Then we have monthly market report. It is again an analysis of the whole month. It also gives the opening and closing rates of a product that took place in the whole month. Also has the rates of the previous month, and also give the fluctuation that took place in the prices of the commodity. And newspapers, journals and monthly bulletins publish these types of things or these reports in them. So again, this is very helpful for the business people. What is the value of reading market report? As I've just told you that it's very important from consumer point of view and from the businessman point of view. The market report makes us aware of the volume and nature of business in the market. Traders become aware of different conditions of the market. They can know something about the demand and supply of a commodity. So it helps both the buyer and the seller. Market reports help people guess the future movement of price. The market condition is exposed to everybody, as a result of which prices become stable. These prices can be compared at different markets. So you see that it helps us a lot in understanding the way a commodity is being dealt in the market on a certain date in a certain place. So market report has a certain value in reading. We have to write market report as businessmen, so we must be familiar with writing good market report. So we have to see that what are the qualities of a good market report. Remember that whenever you are writing market report, you have to follow these lines. Normally a market report is not personal. It should be written using third person and the past tense. As you are reporting something, as we will read a market report and you will see, we are reporting that how a certain commodity was seen from by the consumer and by the businessman in the market. So we have to report these things. So it is written in third person in a very impersonal way, in a very objective way. So general readers should be able to understand the technical terms used in the report. Reading market report is very sensitive in one way, is technical in one way, that a lot of terms are used in market. We have to take care as a good writer of market report that we do not include too many technical terms, but sometimes we are forced to include, because we can convey a lot of information by just writing one term. But remember that your journal reader should be able to understand the technical terms used in the report. There are a lot of technical terms, and even nowadays, since we have a lot of things on television, they are well versed with it. You see that whenever a market report is telecast, we see that there are certain pictures behind the person giving the report of a bull or a bear. So with the help of these visuals, one is becoming familiar nowadays that how these things explain the market condition. We know that these are technical terms, and explaining this market report: bull, bear, arbitrage, arrival, boom, setback, flat, etc. A lot of market terms. But as a writer, you have to take care not to include too many technical words into your market report, and if you are including, you need to explain them in the footnotes. So number one, you got to be careful not to write in first person. You have to include third person using a very impersonal tone. And number two, you do not have to include too many technical terms. Words should be used economically. I mean, the preciseness should be there. You don't have to be very lengthy in your market report. You must be economical. Unnecessary detail must be avoided. It should not be so short that misses the essential information. It should be precise, not lengthy, but it should give all the information. Then there should be a good analysis of changes of prices and demand and supply relationship. So you are giving the picture to the reader, so you have to explain all these things in such a way that your listener or your reader understands it. Market report should be based upon the facts. Events should be written in the minute details. Any writer of market report should be unbiased while concluding his report. So you have to conclude the report, so in your conclusion be unbiased. So you have to follow these and some other. Let's now read a market report. This market report is on Karachi cotton market. So let's read it. You will find these type of report in any magazine. So the cotton market failed to maintain a firm posture on Monday. So let's read a report on stock exchange. A stock exchange market report. The KSE 100 share index managed to finish above the coveted level of 2000 points after 4 previous abortive bids, indicating that it could maintain its forward thrust in the coming week also, boosted by some positive corporate development. Above the market dividend and bonus shares pouring in each day have altogether changed the investors' future perception about the size of capital gains and price appreciation on selected counters, and no one is inclined to miss the rising market at the stage. And there is few more paragraphs to come, and you will see them in your handout, or you can pick up any daily newspaper and you can read such a daily report on as it is on Karachi Stock Exchange. You can read about Lahore and other stock exchanges, and you can read reports on cotton, on fruit, or on rice, on other commodities. So we have also discussed today this market report. Market report is basically a report about the condition of certain commodity, any commodity, on a certain date in a certain market. This market report is written on different basis, on daily basis, on weekly basis, on a monthly basis, and all these reports help reader in understanding the nature of a commodity, the fluctuation that is taking place in the prices. They know about the commodity and of a certain market. And it is also important to know how to read a market report and how to explain a market report, as you have seen that sometime a market report is reproduced and sometime it is explained. You also need to be familiar with the technical terms that are used in market report, and all these reports, all these technical terms are normally found in books on commerce that you must have read or you must be familiar with. So today we have covered two topics. One is proposal, and we have seen that proposal is quite like a report. So all the parts of a report are there in proposal except a few, and it is very similar to a report. And then we have discussed market report. Market report is also a piece of writing, so that's why we have discussed it. And we've seen that what is a market report, how a market report is written, and how it is read. So today we finish our lecture here, and in the next lecture we'll discuss some other topic. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.